Have a seat up on a lift. Cross your legs in the center of your shins. Feet beneath your knees. Rest your hands lightly on your thighs, upper arms, just dangling by your side ribs. Shoulders over your hips, not leaning forward, not leaning back. Find the even balance of your sits bones. Lengthen the inner thighs from the inner thigh through the inner knees, from the inner thighs back up towards the lower abdomen, that whole section between your lower abdomen and the knees extending. Descend the flesh of the inner thighs. The flesh moves from the front of the leg towards the back of the leg. Draw from your outer knees to outer hips, compact the hips together. Maintaining that lengthen from the hips up through the armpits. Ensure that the front bottom ribs draw back towards the back body. As the front bottom ribs move back, the back bottom ribs move in and up. As if the front bottom ribs and the back bottom ribs are trying to meet each other. Allow the shoulders to descend down. And as the shoulders draw down, there's a lengthening from the inner armpits to the inner elbows. But as the shoulders, the elbows draw down, there's still a lifting and a lengthening of the side ribs and the spine itself. The front bottom ribs moving towards the back bottom ribs moving towards the front body, in and up. As the elbows continue to draw down, bring the palms together, thumbs at your chest, touch the palms evenly, left to right, right to left. Does not need to be pushing. This is very gentle touching. Or whatever pressure is moving from one hand to the other, it's equal the opposite way. Shoulder bones moving away from each other as you touch the palms. Let all the facial features release and relax as you rest your eyes into your cheekbones. To gaze at your heart, the seat of your heart, the seat of your soul. Let's chant the syllable Om 3 times together, exhaling completely. Deep inhalation. Lifting the chest towards the ceiling, lower your chin towards your heart. But it's really your chest looking to meet the chin rather than your chin looking to meet the chest. Release your hands onto your thighs with your palms up. With your eyes closed, raise your head. Gently let your eyelids open. All right, let's start off in the chair. So take the chair. Have the back of the chair facing front, and then have the right side of your body facing the back of the chair. So here, the back faces the front, and then you're facing the parking lot. At home, you gotta figure out which way you're facing. So turn that chair around, George. Not you, the chair. Here we go. So square your hips, knees, heels. Now even here, as soon as we sit down, often there's a sagging of the abdomen. We throw the ribs forward and the top of the buttocks comes up. So draw the front bottom ribs towards the back of the body. The top of the buttocks goes down when you do that. You can take the top of the buttocks down, but you don't want to over-exaggerate that. But do bring the front bottom ribs into the back body, and then the back bottom ribs into the front body. Or rather, the back bottom ribs go in towards the front body and then up. So front bottom ribs back, back bottom ribs in and up. And then extend your arms forward, arms up. Now keep that action of the ribs. So front bottom ribs back, back bottom ribs in and up. Inhale, keep that length. Exhale, take your arms out to the sides first to get some width. Then inhale, exhale, take hold of the back of the chair. So you're turning to the right. Elbows up, shoulders down. Now again, even as we begin to turn, these ribs will tend to come forward. So take the front bottom ribs towards the back body. It's slightly a different experience with the twist, but the back bottom ribs still come in and up. Inhaling, lengthen to the side ribs, and exhaling, begin to turn towards the back of the chair. Inhaling, lifting, keep your chin in line with your sternum. Exhaling, turning. So turning towards the back of the chair. You pull with one hand, push with the other hand. Flat hand, so you're not holding these tight fists. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, turning. Again, chin in line with sternum. Don't lead with the head. Once you turn the head, the body begins to stop turning. And when you've gone an optimal, you have an optimal turn for you. Doesn't have to be maximum, optimal. Observe. Pause. Experience the pose itself. Sometimes we're in a race to get into it, and then as soon as we're into it, we're in a race to get out of it. Inhale, maintain the lift. Exhale, come to center. Turn around. So again, square your hips, knees, heels. Take the front ribs back. Front bottom ribs, back bottom ribs, move in and up. Arms forward, arms up. You might need to adjust the ribs again now. So front bottom ribs back, back bottom ribs in and up. Inhale, get that length. On your exhalation, take your arms out to the sides, get some width. Inhale, exhale, turn. Maintain that lift and width as you turn. Elbows up, shoulders down. Again, not tight fists. Chin in line with your sternum. Inhale, lifting up to the side ribs. Keep those front bottom ribs back, back bottom ribs in and up, and exhale and turn. Pace of your breath. Inhale, lifting up to the side ribs and spine. Exhaling, turning. Take a few breaths like this. And at some point you'll find you've come to an optimal place. Begin to observe. And certainly if on another exhalation it seems, once you're here a little bit, sometimes you find that then there's a little bit more. You want to go further. That's fine. No need to force it though. Inhale, maintain that lift. Exhale, come to center. Turn around. Front bottom ribs back. Back bottom ribs in and up. Now it helps to, if you lengthen your groins here, lengthen the groins, descend the groins. If you do that here, there's more space for the turn. So lengthen the groins, descend the groins, front ribs back, back ribs in and up, arms forward, arms up. Inhale. On your exhalation, take your arms out to the side. Watch those ribs again. Front ribs back ribs in and up. Inhale, exhale, turning. Front ribs back ribs in and up. Elbows up, shoulders down. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, turning, the pace of your breath. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, turning. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, turning. And again, notice if you're throwing, beginning to, as you turn, sometimes we'll take the tops of the buttocks up and throw the belly and the ribs forward. So continue to adjust. Front, bottom ribs back, bottom ribs in and up. Find an optimal place for you, and then observe. Now look over your left shoulder, opposite the way you're turning. Look over your left shoulder. Inhale, you're going to turn some more. Inhale, lengthen through the side of the spine. Exhale, turn a little bit more. And at the end of that turn and the exhalation, then gaze over the right shoulder. Inhale, exhale, come to center. Turn around. Square the hips, knees, heels. Front, bottom ribs back bottom ribs in and up. Arms forward, arms up. Adjust the ribs as is necessary. Front ribs back bottom ribs back bottom ribs in and up. Maintain that lift. Exhale, arms out to the side. Inhale, exhale, turning. Again, adjusting the ribs as is necessary. Front, bottom ribs back bottom ribs in and up. Pace of your breath. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, turning. Chin in line with the sternum right now. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, turning. Again, it helps if you lengthen the groins, descend the groins. There's more space. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, turning. Come to an optimal place for you. Adjust those ribs if you need so. Look inward and see if you're beginning to lean forward or back. And then gaze over your right shoulder. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, turn. A little bit more when you gaze the opposite way. And then at the end of the exhalation or your next exhalation, gaze over the left shoulder. Shoulders down. Maintain that lift. Inhale, exhale, come to center. Put the chair to the side. Come onto your hands and knees. If you use blocks or the chair for downward facing dog, take your blocks or chair. And if you're on the floor, shoulders over the wrists, knees slightly behind your hips. Rotate the forearms in, press down to the ball of the first finger and thumb. Rotate the upper arms out. Push into the floor, lengthen through the inner arms. Now watch even here, there's often the sagging of the belly and the front ribs. Take the front bottom ribs towards the back body here. Then push into the floor, lengthen, turn your toes under, straighten your legs. Again, then push into the floor, lengthen, keep those ribs into the body. Inhale, exhale, thighs back, chest towards your thighs, hip bones towards the ceiling. Downward facing dog. Now come on to the balls of the toes, so the heels become high. Push into the hands and take your sit bones really backing up. And then, as if you're rolling over the balls of the toes, seek to get that heel towards the back of the room. Or maybe the side of the room, if whatever way you're facing. But behind you. Get the heels moving behind you. Send your outer heels down, lift the outer hips up, still lengthening the inner groins. Let the head go. Lengthening those inner groins. The flesh of the inner thighs moving back as you lift the outer knees to the outer hips and compact the hips.
And look up, walk your feet forward, hold your elbows, Uttanasana, forward bend.
You can take your feet as wide as you need. You can take them, if your legs aren't straight, you just take them to the edges of the sticky mat. Totally fine. Toes forward. Lift from the inner ankles all the way up through the groins. The flesh of the inner thighs going back. Remember, upper arms in line with your ears. Lift from the outer knees to the outer hips. The thigh bone pressing back the whole time. Bones, plural. Both legs. As you move your hips towards the ceiling, let your torso fall over your thighs.
And then let your arms go. Take your left hand to your right ankle or calf, and take your right hand onto your right hip. And then the arm holding your ankle, that's the one that's really controlling things. Inhale, and on your exhalation, bend that left elbow and turn. So it's another twist.
Bend the left elbow to help you turn, and move that right elbow towards the ceiling.
So the left elbow bends, the right elbow moves towards the ceiling,
and wrap your ribs around. Move the left ribs towards the right.
And then release. Come to center. Take your right hand on the outside of your left ankle or left calf. Left hand on your hip, elbow towards the ceiling. Inhale, on your exhalation, bend the right elbow. Turn. The right elbow bends, the left elbow moves towards the ceiling.
Take the right ribs towards the left. Don't tuck the chin here.
And then on your exhalation, turn your torso towards the floor. Plant your hands on the floor and walk your feet back, downward facing dog pose.
So everyone, bend your knees slightly. Come up onto the balls of the toes. Not if you're using the chair. That won't work on the chair, Joe. So you just do it the way you know how. But if your hands are on the floor or blocks, it will work. Lift your sit bones high and take your chest towards your thighs. So knees slightly bent, just a little bit. Lift your sit bones high and take your chest towards your thighs. Now keeping your sit bones high, keeping your chest towards your thighs, straighten your legs by taking your heels towards the wall behind you and lifting the outer knees to the outer hips. And it should feel as if the thighs are moving faster than your hips. Faster than your knees. And if you feel like you lost it, then you do it again. Bend your knees again. Lift the heels a little bit. Sit bones high. It's not so much about how high the heels are in this one. Sometimes we focus on the high heels. But get those sit bones high and back. And then as you straighten the legs, the heels are going back. Outer heels down, but more back. And lift the outer knees to the outer hips until those legs are straight. Let your skull release. Turn the upper arms out to move your shoulders away from your ears, but at the same time, press into the balls of the first fingers and thumbs.
And then look up, walk your feet forward, hold your elbows the opposite way you did the first time.
Lengthen through the inner groins, from the inner knees. Right, there's a lifting from the inner ankles all the way up through the leg, but then also the inner knees, deep into the body. The flesh of the inner thighs moving back, lifting the outer knees to the outer hips. moving the hips towards the ceiling, moving the sits bones towards the ceiling, allowing your torso to fall over your thighs.
And then let's twist again here. So let the arms go first. Take your left hand on the outside of the right ankle or right calf, right hand onto your hip with the elbow towards the ceiling. Now before you go deep into the turn, inhale and lengthen the chest forward. And then on your exhalation, bend the elbow and turn. So the left elbow bends, the right elbow moves towards the ceiling. Inhale. You don't have to hold down so far, Joe. Hold higher up so it's comfortable, but go to the outside of the leg. Outside. There you go. Yeah, it doesn't matter how far down your hand goes, right? If you do deeper forward bends, your hand goes really towards your heel. And if your forward bends aren't so deep, yeah, don't hurt yourself doing it. If it bothers your back, stay higher up. That's fine. Yeah, you can just do that. Yeah, turn from there. Perfect. How does that feel, Carla? Is that okay? Yeah. Yeah, you can have your spine parallel to the floor if that's what's working for you today. It depends on your hamstrings, your lower back, all of it. Your exhalation, come to center, and then take the other side. So take your right hand across, reach to your left ankle or calf or thigh. The right hand comes around, left hand is on your hip, elbow towards the ceiling. Take that hand on the outside of the leg. That's it. And remember, inhale, extend the chest forward. Extend the chest. Get some length first. Good, Veronica. And then exhale and turn. And again, it helps. Lengthen the groins. The flesh of the inner thighs moving back. Right? If we're sitting, we would say descend the groins. But you're standing, so they're not really descending in that way. But it's that same action from the front of the leg towards the back of the leg. Soft face, soft jaw, soft eyes. And exhale, turn your torso down, back towards the floor. Take your hands on your hips, elbows up, extend the chest forward, keep the thighs pressing back. Inhale, come up. And turn to face the front. Tadasana, feet together, or if you prefer, feet underneath your hip sockets, not the outer hip bones, but the hip sockets. Balance evenly on the feet. And we can get more precise there as well. I mean, you have to look into your practice with what makes sense. And there are different ways to do the feet. But one of the ones I like is the balls of the big toes, the center heels, and the outer foot bone, which is halfway between the pinky toe and the heel. So 3 points on each foot, 6 points total, balance evenly on those 6 points. So you have to kind of know what your default is. So for me, my default is the balls of the big toes. I'll just push in. If I'm not paying attention, I'll just push there. And there's some weight on the heels and the outer foot bone. It's as if it's barely touching. So I have to adjust and bring and you have to look into your body. Your body's not mine, but I have to then bring awareness into the outer foot bones. And then I'll overdo it. So then I have to even it out. And it's just this continuous focus, refocusing. And you get 4 or 5 points balanced evenly, and then you go after the 6, and you might get it for a glimpse. Celebrate that glimpse. And then it disappears rather quickly, and you'll begin to wobble like a pendulum, some of you will notice. That means you're doing it. Now the thighs still press back, lengthen the inner groins, from the inner knees to the lower abdomen, lift from the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips, the flesh of the inner thighs moving back. Now still, front bottom ribs back, back bottom ribs in and up. Lift up through the side ribs, shoulders down, extend through your arms. Chin parallel to the floor, eyes parallel to the floor.
See if you can create more distance between the sides of your neck and your shoulders. It's subtle. And take your arms up and out to the sides. See if you're holding your arms up from your shoulders or from your armpits. Hold them up from your armpits. From the center of your sternum and from between your shoulder blades, extend outward. So it's not that you're pulling with the hands, but from the center of the body, front and back, you're pushing outwards. And see if you can really take your arms in line with your body. So look to the right, look to the left, and see that your hands are not forward of your shoulders, but in line with your shoulders as best as is accessible today. And then from your armpits, rotate your arms up. Keep that extending. So from the midline, extend outward. Did you notice your ribs come forward? So front, bottom ribs back, bottom ribs in and up. From the midline, front and back, extend outward through the arms, pushing the arms away from each other. And then from the armpits, inhale, push the arms up. Shoulders go down as the arms go up. So now we start back at the base. So you balanced evenly on those 6 points, or at least attempting. Thighs back, lengthen the groins, outer knees to outer hips, lengthen up to the side ribs, turn those triceps towards the nose, That's it, good, George. Extend all the way through the arms and the hands. Hands are a part of the pose, fingers are straight. Fingers straight. Shoulders down as the arms go up. Shoulder blades down. Or if you were here the other week where we were really working on the shoulder blades, you can do the work we were doing the other week. Otherwise, shoulder blades down is fine. Turn your hands out to the sides. Exhale, come down. Interlace your fingers together. Turn your palms out. Actually, let's do it this way. Let's take the back of the hand onto the back of the head. Take the elbows back. So as soon as I do that, my ribs come forward. My guess is yours did too. So take the front bottom ribs back, bottom ribs in and up. Push through those 6 points on the seat, but evenly. And then keeping the elbows back, move the wrist towards the ceiling, not the hands, the wrist. The hands will go, I get that, but do it from the wrist. Extend your wrist towards the ceiling. You can do it both ways. Push your hands towards the ceiling, push the wrist towards the ceiling. You see what the difference is. For me, there's a drastic difference if I push the hands up or if I push the wrists up. Draw the shoulders down as the wrists go up. Elbows become straight. Front bottom ribs back, bottom ribs in and up. The upper arms move closer to the ears more and more as time goes on. But the shoulders don't move towards the ears. So upper arms move towards the ears, shoulders move away from the ears. Release your arms out to the sides. Exhale, come down. Tadasana. Balance evenly on those 6 points. Thighs back, front ribs in, back ribs in and up. Interlace your fingers together the opposite way. Take the back of your hand on the top of your head. Elbows back. Again, those ribs. As soon as I do that, even my thighs, my hips come forward, my ribs come forward. So take your thighs back. Lengthen the groins, the flesh of the inner thighs moving back. Take the front bottom ribs towards the back body, bottom ribs in and up. Take your elbows back. Now push through the seat. Take your wrist towards the ceiling. The wrists, the wrists, the wrists. Shoulders go down as the wrists go up. Shoulder blades go down as the wrists go up. Front bottom ribs back, bottom ribs in and up. Hug your upper arms towards your ears. But the shoulders move away from your ears. Place your arms out to the sides. Come down. Tadasana. Press into those 6 points of your feet. Thighs back. Front ribs back ribs in and up. Shoulders down. Uttita Parshva Konasana. Let's set up some blocks. take a couple blocks towards the rear of your mat. You're going to use the chair, George. Then from Tadasana, fingertips up, bend your legs, jump or step your feet apart. Balance evenly on the 2 feet. You can even go to those 6 points. Balls to the big toes. Take your hands on your hips. Let's do that. And there are different ways. You know, there are the 4 corners of the feet. And I'm not saying this is the only way to do it. But what happens to your feet? Can you study what happens to your feet when you balance evenly in the balls of the big toes, the center heels, and the outer foot bone? Or attempt to. For some of you, you can see the arches are lifting. Yes, they will do that. Lift the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips, and lengthen from the inner knees to the lower abdomen. Now extend the arms, drop the shoulders, turn your left foot in, turn your right leg out. Press into that back heel. Turn the front thigh out, lift the outer knees to the outer hips. Now when you go to bend the front leg, the weight goes onto the heel. So it's weight on the 2 heels. Inhale, exhale, bend the leg. So don't force the weight to the balls of the toes. Don't let the knee go past the ankle. Inhale, exhale, hand on the block. Left arm goes up, Rotate the arm so the palm faces your ear. Now reach for the ceiling. Don't just take the arm over. Reach up. Then press the back heel. Make a nice big arch. And extend the arm overhead. Nice, Carla. The back leg is beginning to look better too. It's getting some body memory. So press into the back heel. All the weight should not be on the front heel. Yeah, good. Right, it's easier with the legs wider, isn't it? Rotate the torso. Lengthen that whole right side of the body, or left side of the body, excuse me. Veronica, don't drop the head so much. Keep the head in line with the spine. You can take it back a little bit. Take your head back a little bit and lift it towards the top arm. There you go. Reach to that arm. Pull yourself up and out. Parallel the feet. And then hands on hips for a moment. And get into those 6 points of your feet again. Center heels, balls of the toes. Balls of the big toes. Outer foot bone. Notice the results. Right, so if you don't get that outer foot bone, you'll feel your arches collapse. And you'll feel the inner ankle fall inward. And if you just get the outer foot bone and forget the ball of the big toe, you'll feel your arches rise too much. So again, you have to find that place in between. You have to begin to live in the in-betweens, not the extremes. Right foot in, left leg out. Extend the arms. Front heel in line with your back arch. Turn that front thigh from the inside out. Press into the back heel. Inhale, exhale, bend the leg. That 90-degree angle. Inhale, exhale. Take the hand down onto the block. The block goes next to the heel. Extend that right arm up. Rotate the arm. Now press into the back heel. Reach up, and then extend your arm overhead. Now the palm is facing the floor. Press into the back heel. Seek the outer rim of the back heel. Even if you don't get it, seek it. On the front foot, the weight is on the heel. But try and get more weight onto the back heel. Try and even it out. And then as you rotate the torso from the back heel, extend all the way through that right side of the body. Watch the back leg on this one, Carla. You're pushing that knee back. Shin bone forward. Yeah. Reach through that arm and pull yourself up and out. Parallel the feet. Jump or step your feet together. Tadasana. Balance on those 6 points. Yes, we're going to do it again. Fingertips up, bend your legs, jump or step your feet apart. So take your hands on your hips for a moment. You can balance even on the 6 points for a moment. Never hurts to pause here and do that. Or pause isn't the right word. To be here, do those actions. And then maintaining awareness. Don't just drop it and, okay, now we're going to do the next thing. It is different. It's not an even balance on the 6 points when you turn, but can you keep your awareness in the body and turn your back foot in and turn your front leg out? And then the weight begins to move towards the back heel. And the front side turns out. Now, when you bend the front leg, right now it's straight. There's an angle that's formed at the knee, but there's also an angle that's formed from, I want to make sure Veronica can see me. There's also an angle that's formed with the hip and the torso, right? I want you to, most of us are focused on what's happening at the knee. Can you focus on what's happening at the torso? Let the knee do what it's doing and focus on this. And you stop. Don't let the torso fall over. Stop when this is a 90-degree angle. Then we'll extend the arms, and then yes, we'll finish the pose, we'll come down, and we'll do the rest of the work, okay? But focus on the top angle, the angle of the thigh and the torso. So left foot in, right leg out. And then inhale, exhale. So the buttock is going to drop. The knee happens to bend. So drop the buttock and keep this angle at a 90-degree angle. And then extend the arms. Now we're in Virabhadrasana 2, right? And then we'll go from Virabhadrasana 2 to Parsvakonasana. Inhale, exhale, hand down on the block. Extend the arm up, rotate the arm, reach up, press into the back heel, and extend that arm over your ear. That's better, Carla. That's good. Just take your front knee a little closer to your elbow. Front knee back towards the elbow. When you do it that way, you get a little bit more opening in the groins. Or maybe just say, I get a little more opening in the groins. You have to check what happens to you. Reach that arm, pull yourself up and out. Parallel your feet, hands on hips. Find those 6 points of your feet. And then right foot in, left leg out. So again, you're going to drop the buttock down until you have a right angle where your thigh and torso meet. Inhale, exhale, bend the butt, lower the buttock. And if you do that, then the knee and the hip have that right angle. Now extend the arm. So Virabhadrasana 2. And then inhale, exhale into Parsvakonasana. Hand goes on the block. Right arm up, rotate that arm, reach up. Now really press into that back heel and make that nice big arch. Pressing that back heel, rotate the torso, and extend that whole side. Bend a little bit more if it's accessible, George. Bend that front leg. There you go. Reach through that arm, pull yourself up and out. Parallel your feet. Jump or step your feet together. All right, you can move the blocks out of the way. If you like blocks for triangle pose versus going onto your shin, you can use the block, it's fine. Otherwise, you'll take your hands onto your shin or ankle. And teacher Trikonasana, triangle pose, fingertips up, bend your legs, jumper step. Left foot in, right leg out, front heel in line with your back arch. Pressing the back heel, turn the front thigh out. So the legs are straight this time. Lift the outer knees to the outer hips. That keeps the hips in place. Then inhale and exhale. Take that right hand down, left arm up. Head back, don't tuck the chin. You can look straight. If you're rotated enough in the torso, you can certainly look up. So pressing into that back heel, pull yourself up and out. Parallel your feet over to the other side, right foot in, left leg out. Front heel in line with your back arch. Press that back heel, turn the front thigh, lift the outer knees to the outer hips. Keep pressing the back heel, exhale, come down. Lift the outer knees to the outer hips, even as you come down. Keep lifting the outer knees to the outer hips. And if you need the chair, you take the chair. But make sure the front toes point that way. There you go. There you go. Extend those arms away from each other. Reach for that top arm. Pull yourself up and out. Parallel your feet. Jumper step your feet together. Tadasana. Bounce evenly on the 6 points of your feet. Lengthen through the inner thighs. Lift the outer knees to the outer hips. One more time. Fingertips up. Bend your legs. Jumper step. So take your hands on your hips for a moment. Get the 6 points of your feet. Turn your left foot and turn your right leg out. Take the back thigh back, press into the back heel. Turn the front thigh out, lift both outer knees to outer hips. Now, here's the thing. When we go down, we tend to forget what we're doing in the legs, take our arm down, and then reestablish the legs. I want you to lift both outer knees to outer hips. Now, especially that front one. The more you can lift that front outer knee to the outer hip, and yes, there's still a lengthening of the groin, the coming down of the torso is going to be more accessible. So extend the arms, and don't so much focus on the torso. The torso will come down, but focus on lifting that front outer knee to outer hip. Move the front femur bone into the hip socket, and then exhale, come down. While you're still lifting, while you're lifting. Yeah, see, everyone had to go more slowly. We tend to just to try and get through it. Now, everyone, keep that. Don't lose that leg, front leg especially, and take your left hand onto your hip. Don't lose the front leg, okay? Lift the outer knee to the outer hip. Keep some awareness there. Any instruction I give, maintain that. Do press into the back heel, but keep lifting the front outer knee to the outer hip. Now, many of you have the front bottom ribs thrust forward. So take the front bottom ribs towards the back body, lift the front outer knee to the outer hip. Take the back bottom ribs in and up. Up is towards the chest, up, right? Not ceiling, up. So front bottom ribs back, back bottom ribs in and up. But keep lifting that outer knee to the outer hip. Finish the pose. Extend the arm up. Now keep lifting the front outer knee to the outer hip. Press the back heel and pull yourself up and out. Hands up, parallel your feet, hands on hips. Take a breath. Left foot in. I'm sorry, right foot in, left leg out. So take the back thigh back. Turn the front thigh out. Lift both outer knees to outer hips. It is both legs. So if you can spread your awareness and keep both legs, then do so. If you have to do only one, keep the awareness on that front leg. Outer knee, front outer knee to outer hip. Extend the arms. Now keep lifting, front, outer knee to outer hip as you take the arm down. Keep lifting, keep lifting, keep lifting, keep lifting, keep lifting, keep lifting. And maintain that lift, maintain that femur bone, moving into the hip socket, and take your top hand on your hip. So under no circumstances lose that front leg. Move the femur bone into the hip socket. Take the back thigh back, press into the back heel. Keep that front leg lifting, outer knee to outer hip. Now again, let's adjust the ribs. So front ribs back ribs in and up. Front ribs back ribs in and up. In and up is towards the chest, not the ceiling, right? But lift that front outer knee to the outer hip. Finish the pose, extend the arm up. Lift the outer knee to the outer hip, front leg. Lift both outer knees to outer hips. Press the back heel and the ball of the front big toe as you lift the outer knee to the outer hips. And then pull yourself up and out. Parallel your feet. Jumper step your feet together. Take the blocks to the front of your mat. So from Tadasana, so do a real Tadasana here. Bounce evenly on those 6 points of your feet. Thighs back. Lengthen the inner groins. Flesh of the inner thighs moving back, outer knees to outer hips. Front ribs back ribs in and up as you lengthen through the side ribs, shoulders down, extend through the arms. Parvrita Trikonasana, revolved triangle pose. Fingertips up, bend your legs, jumper step your feet apart. So this one, the stance is a little shorter. So instead of feet below your hands, you can take them a little closer together, feet below the wrists, or where the forearm meets the wrist. Hands on your hips. Turn your left foot in, turn your right leg out. Now, if you remember, we need to square the hips and torso. So lift up the back heel and take that left hip forward and left ribs forward, and then place the heel back down. Lift the outer knees to the outer hips. Lengthen from the inner knees all the way up to the lower abdomen. Now, take that block right on the instep of your foot and then come back up. And George, actually, you do the chair. Take the chair where the block is. Okay? It's going to be better. That's it. So now again, lift the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips. Lengthen from the inner knees to the inner groins. Now keep your hands on your hips for a moment. When you come forward, really lift the outer knees to the outer hips, lengthen the inner knees to the lower abdomen. Exhale, take the torso halfway down. And then take your right hand, left hand, onto the block. Now take your right hip back and the chest forward. Right hip back, chest forward to lengthen. And then inhale and exhale, turn over your front leg. So towards the back wall. Rotate. Wrap the ribs around. Take that right hip back and rotate. And remember, the balance is in the top hand, the hand that's on the block and the back heel. So press the back heel, and then using that hand that's on the block, swing yourself up and out. And then watch that block as you parallel your feet. And then we'll go over to the other side. You can take your hands on your hips, turn your right foot in, turn your left leg out. Pick up the back heel, take that hip and ribs forward, and then place the heel down. So your hips, ribs are squared to the side. Take that block, move it to the instep or the chair. Lift the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips. But I found equally important, lifting from the inner knees to the lower abdomen, really lengthen those groins. It's going to create more space. And then as you come forward, don't just just round, but you're trying to get your chest towards the opposite side or to the side of the room. So inhale, lift the outer knees to the outer hips, inner knees to inner groins. On your exhalation, extend your chest forward. Forward, forward, forward. Try and lengthen that spine. And then when your torso is parallel to the floor, you can take your hand onto that block, or fingertips is fine as well. Now take that left hip back, lift the outer knees to the outer hips. Lift from the inner knees to the lower abdomen, lengthen those groins. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, turn, rotate. Keep that left hip going back as you rotate. Turn. Use your breath. Use your breath. All right, now press it into your back heel. Swing that arm up and out. Turn towards the front of the room. Good. Parallel your feet. Jump or step your feet together. So the same thing, I don't know if we did this on Tuesday or maybe it was last week we did it, but I know some of you were here. Same thing is going on. So when we turn, we're beginning to throw the whole torso back, right? So here, my spine is parallel to the front and back wall. I want you to keep it that way as you turn. Don't take the torso back. Just rotate, 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 rotate. And at some point, you can take the arm up, but I'm less concerned with that. But try not to shift your torso towards the back. You're looking at me like I'm crazy. Does it make sense? Okay, make sure you understand. ¿Sí? ¿Entiende? All right. So let's try it again. Blocks to the front or the chair. Everybody at home understand? Was that clear? All right. Fingertips up. Bend your legs, jump or step. Hands on. Left foot in, right leg out. Pick up the back heel. Take the left hip forward. Place the heel down. Take that block on the inside of the foot. So lift the outer knees to the outer hips. Compact the hips. Lengthen the inner knees to the inner groins. Now keep those. Keep that awareness on the legs. Inhale, exhale, take the chest forward. And then take your hand on your block or fingertips on your block. Take the right hip back, chest forward. Now notice what your spine is now. Take the right hip back, so call it, take your right hip towards me. Take your right hip back and towards me, not towards this wall. Right hip towards this wall. Towards this wall. And now we'll take your torso that way. You're taking it towards the rope wall. Take it towards the front wall. And then, yes, it becomes a balancing pose. So keep the torso parallel to your front and back walls. Inhale, exhale, rotate. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, rotate. Turning towards that way. That's it. And see, Carlos, you can take your whole torso closer to the back wall, the rope wall. Nice, Joe. Nice. That's much better, Joe. I don't know if you feel the difference, but it looks completely different. And if you'd like, you can extend your top arm up or not. Less concerned about that. Then coming out, press the back heel. Use your left arm, swing yourself up and out. Parallel the feet. Over to the other side. Right foot in, left leg out. Pick up the back heel. Take that right hip forward. Place the heel back down. So the hips are squared, the ribs are squared. Take that block on the instep of your foot. Lift the outer knees to the outer hips. Lengthen from the inner knees to the inner groins. Now, even here, we haven't spoken about it too much in this pose, but don't thrust the front ribs forward. So front ribs back ribs in and up. Keep the awareness on the legs, so lengthen the groins, outer knees to outer hips. Exhale, come down, chest forward. And keep their spine parallel to the front and back walls as you come down. And then hand on the block. Now adjust, take that left hip back. outer hips. Keep the front bottom ribs towards the back body. Keep the spine parallel to the front and back wall. Inhale, exhale, rotate. Rotate. So you're rotating around the spine. You're not moving the spine closer to the front or back walls. There you go, Carla. Keep that, Carla. Just keep that left hip coming back. That's good, Joe. Rotate. At some point, you're in an optimal place. If you want to take your arm up, take your arm up. Once you're optimal, stay there. Be there. Enjoy. Enjoy life for a moment. You're still lifting the outer knees to the outer hips, so you're lengthening the groins. Coming out, press your back heels. Swing your right arm up and out. Parallel your feet. Jump or step your feet together. Tadasana. Bounce on those 6 points of your feet. Thigh bones back, not the knees, the thighs. Lengthen the groins. Outer knees to outer hips, compact the hips. Front ribs back ribs in and up. Extend through the arms. Soft face, soft jaw. And release. Downward facing dog. So if you want to use the blocks or the chair, please do so. Otherwise, yeah, floor here. Shoulders over the wrist, knees slightly behind the hips. You can come in at your own pace if you want or follow along. Turn the forearms in as you press to the ball of the first finger and thumb. Rotate the upper arms up. Lengthen. Now watch those front ribs. Take the front ribs back. Toes under. Straighten the legs. Inhale. Exhale. Come into the pose. Thighs back. Chest towards your thighs. But even though the chest is moving towards your thighs, can you take your front bottom ribs away from your thighs? Even as the chest moves towards your thighs, take your front bottom ribs into the body. The back bottom ribs in and up. Up is now down, right, but still towards your chest. And then take your abdomen, roll it into your tailbone, press your thighs back even more. Remember, roll over the balls of your feet to take your heels towards the wall behind you. Let your skull go. Yeah, even more, Carla. Let the head go. Ah, yeah. And on your exhalation, if you're on the chair, you can just walk forward into Tadasana. Everybody else, bend your legs, touch your knees to the floor, precisely the same moment. Feet together, knees apart. Come into child's pose. Rest the head either on the floor or a block. Yeah, take a block, George. Take the knees wider, George, and use the block. Feet together, knees apart. Take your knees to the very edge of the mat, George. To the sides. Knees to the sides. Yeah, that's fine. And then sit bones, feet together. There you go. And then take your sit bones as close to the heels as you're able to. Sit bones back. Ah, there we go. There you go. Now take your head on that block. Move that block underneath your head. There we go. You've been tricking me this whole time. You got this. Are you observing or are you waiting? Please observe. Study. Study you. We're brought up being taught to study all these other things. All these things in the world outside of us. They're good things to know. I'm not saying there's nothing good to know outside of us. But rarely are we taught to study ourselves. Can you take this time to study? The most important study there is.
And then take your hands underneath your shoulders, push to come up, and lie on your back. We're going to do a supported twist. So Veronica and Joe, if you need to come away from the wall to extend your arms out to the sides, you can do so. So lie back, bend your legs, feet on the floor, and extend your arms out to the sides. And then bend your legs into your chest. Now even here, it helps to lengthen those groins. It makes it a completely different twist. Now keep the thighs together. That means the bottom thigh pushes into the top thigh. Inhale. On your exhalation, take your knees towards your right elbow. Push your right thigh into the left thigh, the bottom thigh into the top thigh. Press your right shoulder down to keep the left shoulder and shoulder blade down. And turn your torso to the left as your knees come to the right. And then pushing the bottom thigh into the top thigh. Push up. Take your feet on the floor. Square your hips and square your shoulders. And then bend your legs back into your chest. Keep the thighs together. Remember, lengthen those groins. Inhale, exhale, take your knees towards your left elbow. Press your left leg, the bottom leg, into the top leg. Press your left shoulder down to keep your right shoulder and shoulder blade down. And turn your abdomen to the right as your knees go to the left. Keep space in the groins. With your bottom leg, push up. Inhale, take your feet up, then place your feet on the floor. And bend your legs into your chest and hold around your knees or behind your knees, around your shins or behind your knees. In case there's any tenderness in the back, take your hands around your right shin only. Take your left foot to the floor, close to your buttocks, and then drag the left heel to straighten your leg. Draw the right thigh towards your torso as you extend through the inner left leg. Move the outer right hip away from your right shoulder so the two sides of your torso are equal in length. Each exhalation creates more space to bring the right thigh down, which is an opportunity to lengthen through the left leg. Soft shoulders, soft face. And bend the left leg next to your right. Hold around both legs for a moment. And then hold around the left shin only or behind the left knee. Take your right foot to the floor first. Inhale. On your exhalation, drag your right heel, straighten the right leg. Keep drawing the left thigh towards your torso. Take the outer left hip away from your shoulder. On each exhalation, there's space to draw that left thigh down a little bit more. Just an opportunity to lengthen through the right leg a little bit more. Remember, the groins lengthen in both directions. So there's that drawing back towards the torso as well as the extension through the leg. Then your right leg next to your left leg. As you hold yourself here, as you give yourself this hug, say something kind to yourself. Say something loving to yourself.
take your hands to the face of your knees. Inhale, allow your legs to move away from you just a few inches. Exhale, draw your legs towards you. It's really the thighs. Inhale, thighs move away from the torso. Exhale, more space is created to draw the thighs towards the torso. Gentle massaging of the abdominal organs, the lower back. A few of these at the pace of your breath. And then on your next inhalation, take your feet to the floor. Straighten your legs one at a time. Let your legs fall out to the side. And then find a comfortable place for your arms. Let go. Let go. Rest your eyes into your cheekbones. Let the legs flow away from your torso. And as they flow away, let them surrender to gravity, to the Mother Earth below you. Let the arms flow away from your torso. And as they do, let the arms surrender to gravity, to the Mother Earth below you. Let the torso itself surrender to gravity, surrender to the Mother Earth below you. And as you soften all of your facial features, you allow your skull to surrender. Imagine each of the pores on your skin, your whole body, each pore is a little lung. Breathe in through each of the pores on your whole body and exhale through those pores. Inhaling through the pores of your skin, exhaling through the pores of your skin, the whole body. So begin slowly coming out. Lengthen the inhalation. Lengthen the exhalation. Deepen the inhalation. Deepen the exhalation. Wiggle your toes, wiggle your nose. Gently rub your thumb across the tips of your forefingers. When you feel ready, bend your legs, place your feet on the floor with your knees together, feet apart. Place your hands onto your abdomen or onto your chest. When you feel ready, extend your right arm past your right ear, roll to the side. Rest your ear into your upper arm. Take a few breaths here. When you feel ready, place the top hand on the floor in front of your heart and turn your torso towards the floor. Push to come up. Come up, sitting. Bring your palms together. Take a moment to observe your practice. What's different? What's changed? Remember to take your practice with you into the rest of your day, into all of your interactions with other people, with kindness and with compassion. Kindness and compassion for others, and most importantly, kindness and compassion for yourself. And let's close our practice together by chanting one collective Om. Deep inhalation. Om. Gently let your eyelids open. Big smile. Namaste. Bow to the divine within you.